The purpose of prison right now is to reduce reoffending. So everybody's trying to find a different way to reach an offender and help them make a different choice with their life.
Basically, I think I got back into crime because of various stuff. It's not just one thing in particular. Firstly, my time in prison, there was nothing really there. It's like I just went in and just did my time and came out. There was nothing new. The same people talking to me, like everything was just basically the same. So obviously you do the same thing and obviously it's going to be the same outcome basically, and that's what happened. So nothing changed and I went back in.
The arts in the criminal justice system are a different take on education. It's a way for them to experiment and try new things in a safe environment and to find out what they're good at. So for me, it's encouraging them to write a small poem and publishing it, and then seeing them see their piece in print and getting praise for it. All of a sudden, they're good at something and they're good for something, and it's lovely to watch that small transformation.
Walked in the library and there was like these guys just sitting there, obviously being curious, like, what are you guys doing? And like telling me, oh, well, writing poems and whatever, like thinking, oh, I can do better than that, right? What, just write a couple, scribble something down and stuff. Obviously Peggy was there and she saw it and she's like, she heard the conversation, she's like, oh, why don't you write something down and show it to me and see what happens? Like, all right, then I did.
A week later, he turned in this really long love poem in verse. It was charming, and said I'd like to put it in the magazine. And he was embarrassed and I don't know, I'm not so sure. Then I said, really, it's one of the best things I've received.
It's a poem called Taboo, I think, just about love and stuff, and just like I think I must have read the poem a couple of times, just like, and you just look at the bottom and go, oh, like, yeah, that's me. Like, I wrote that, like, and just like, yeah, I felt proud, like, yeah, I did something, and yeah, at least my name's being used in a positive form, not in like South London press and saying, yeah, the muggers attacking people.
Each magazine, we try to start with a theme. The one that we'll be handing out today is called Thoughts of a Locked Up Mind. What do you think about when you're locked up? Where does your mind take you? So there's some quite fantastical poems. There's a lot of lyrics about being free and how free are you and how do you feel about being in here. And if you can learn to share your feelings and access your feelings and get them off your chest, then you're able to move forward. But also in terms of life skills and social skills for what will serve them afterward. Being able to be authentic with your feelings and share them and write them down and claim them, is a very adult thing to be able to do. And it will serve them well when they're back out in community. Okay.
When you see your name on the magazine, it's just kind of like you feel, look what I've achieved. Like, just because seeing that thing there just gives you that, inspiration. Like, you want to do more stuff and you just want to better yourself, kind of, basically.
Speaking to some of them, they said they didn't realise that they had that skill or flair in particular areas, and then wanted to develop that. So it may be a link and a hook into further education, pre-release and after release as well.
After you.
Shout out to
The last thing I want is trouble on my wing and indeed the prison. So if they can express their anger through poems or singing or music or whatever, then that must be a positive for me and my colleagues.
Since I came out, I've never even thought about going back into crime. The writing gave me that purpose, that passion. just because of that, just because, yeah, I've got something to do, something to focus on, like, I just never ever want to go back in.